All right. I think we're live. Uh, Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me this morning. Uh, yeah, got this wolf going on. I fixed the issue, I think, about the overlap, so it's working now. The reason why it looks so ridiculous now is simply because it's just not animated that well yet. But there's a bunch of issues with the way that the NLA editor works in Blender, which leads to weird overlaps. So, for instance, based on some discussions on Twitter, for instance, um, the order in which you add your strips matters. I didn't need to actually make a strip yet to overlap animation, which is really weird. And finally, if I am not in edit mode inside the NLA editor by pushing tab to edit, and I accidentally add a keyframe here, it will override any animation that I've added in this one here. It will, yeah, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, point is, hopefully the issue is past and I can actually start to animate this wolf. So what I'm doing is basically starting from scratch with left to right motion. So what I'm trying to do is block out from the center of mass the motion, and then I'll worry about the legs later. And good morning, guys. Um, Sorry I was a bit late as well. I was contemplating whether or not to stream because I was tired, but yeah, that's all good. So you can see here that I'm dodging basically from left and right. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Um, so the question is now, blocking wise, how crazy do I make this, like the dodge, and how do I make it even more intense? So poof, 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 so like 1, 2. On this project, a lot, depending on how you see it. But this scene, an hour, uh, literally an hour. But the overall project I started in late 20. Wow, not even late 2020, 2020 in general. So it was meant to be a lockdown project that went longer than a lockdown. So hoping to get it done soon. All right, cool. So you can see me just literally looking at it from every angle when I should only be looking at this angle here. The other angles really are just there for me to be able to control the rig fairly easily. All right, cool. So we've got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And from here, it's funny how when you see the action take place, the bounce, basically, that's what I've got here. Is just essentially an elaborate ball bounce. The scene doesn't have to take that long. 40 frames, which is basically a minute, a second, and just under 2 seconds. So my estimate about how long it'll take to animate this is a lot less. 1, 2, 3. How old am I? I am 34. uh yeah, so yeah. Uh let's get moving on this thing. So yeah, bounce 1. So you can see that bounce taking place. So the cool thing is, because we know with the feeder, we can actually start to exaggerate the bounce. One, two. Let's just get this one up a little bit. See that little bounce? Oh, thank you very much. Hey, if you want to promote, just go ahead and share every video I've ever got. Oh, no. Oh, you mean like the smears? I could do smears, but yeah, too much effort. I'm gonna have to translate that one. Hold on, let me have a go. Uh yeah, not much of a Spanish channel, unfortunately. Although I used to learn Spanish, I just forgot half of it. So there's our first bounce, and see how, like, because we can actually use the foot contacts as a means to launch off the motion, and then when it hits the ground, boom, we got ourselves our first step. Boom. Here I would actually, let's see, one. All right, there's our first step, and then launches off again. And I'll actually go ahead and push that up again. Oops, wrong one. Oh yeah, no, that's the right one. Push that up again. So trying to do that. And then also adding in that little bit of tilt in the body. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm not worrying about the legs right now. What I'm caring about is just the dodge. 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom, boom. If I could hide the legs, I would. Sorry, I'm just going to check out the other thing. For some reason I can't translate that one. I'm not sure if it's yeah. Yeah, no, right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I'm just working out the rhythm. And I'll worry about all the other stuff later. 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom, boom. Speak Mandarin. Sorry, I'm just trying to read the words here. Ah, 2018. Yeah, okay, yeah. I get you. I've thought about doing stuff like that as I get more time to work on the channel. I'm hoping that in, like, I know it's weird to say this, but like June-ish, to sort of put more effort, more time in it. Right now, I'm neck deep in a contract that I'm working on at the moment, so I would like to. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. So the reason I want to have this just feel like more impactful right there, because that's where the feet are pushing back. So let's just try and get something that feels a little bit more impactful. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, thank you for the compliments. Seriously, thank you very much. Oh, contracts. Well, I need to take on contracts to make a living, man. That's what I do. That's where most of my cash comes from. Boom, boom, boom. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Thunder Slap. Very much. I really, really appreciate it. Two, three. So yeah, as this is getting closer, I might have the wolf get the camera pan closer too, or get like a weird 1, 2, 3. Sorry, I'm just working at the I'm trying to figure out the pacing. 1, 2, 3. So now let's try and see what we can do about the legs and see if we can really push this a little bit. So obviously the legs are going to have to move from here to here. So don't know how well this is going to turn out. I did, and I probably won't go on Rumble for the time being. I think it would do more harm than good. Put it that way. At least for now. No offense if that's what you use, but like, yeah. In the greater scheme of things, at least for now. Yeah, probably won't be able to. I've also just realized that looks like the rig layers aren't working. Okay, interesting. So let's go ahead. There's a way to fix that. I just got to open up the script editor and fix it. So if we go to the script editor, text editor, open up the, let's see, can I play that? So sometimes this doesn't play nice if you copy and paste the rig ID. So hopefully the rig will work now. Let's have a look. There we go. They're back. So sometimes if you copy and paste a rig across files, the script hasn't been activated and you got to reactivate the script. And that sorts that problem out. And that can allow me to bring back my feet. Like so. Which is what I want. All right. Going back to this shot here. Making sure that the legs are okay. Yep, they're going good. Yeah, it's Rigify, this one. I didn't use any fancy plugins for this one. Or my own rig. Cool. So what I'm going to do is keyframe these two pieces of animation. Hopefully it doesn't screw up the motion. That's good. So as the feet are moving, so as they've lost contact with the ground, I'm going to keyframe there. And then on the next contact, which is here, probably around there, or just before they're about to hit the ground, I can then move those legs. Yeah. Well, personally, I don't like the way Twitch works myself that much. And you can see here that, poof, poof. So there we go. 1, 2. So we're just going to work out the left and rights. And then we'll worry about the fixings of animation. 1, 2. And then they've lost their location. Keyframe those. And then back on the ground over here. I think. Yep, that looks like it's about right. Move it this way. So suddenly it's starting to come to life. Boom, boom, boom. And I'll worry about the back of the legs later. Poof, 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 poof. That's getting an idea of these characters on my stream here. All right, cool. So you can see here we've got the steps. So 1, 2, and then cross, and then let the step take place. So there's going to be a hold here, and then back over here. All right, and there we go. And we'll worry about those pole vectors and stuff like that later on. But for now, that's looking pretty good to me. And then poof. 1, 2, 3. See? 1, 2, 3. Suddenly it's starting to look pretty good. 1, 2, 3. All right, now the back legs. So this is where doubling up on animation helps, like having an actual functional non-linear editor, and animation layers help because you can do your walk cycles and then add flair to it later down the track. So it gets a lot easier. 1, 2, 3. And here, when it hits the ground, I might actually add another drop. So really drop that down a little bit further. There we go. And when he hits the ground here, that should be dropping down as well. And I can bring that back up. Bum, 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 bum. So yeah, let me know what you think so far. I think it's coming along pretty good. We're starting to make progress, put it that way. 1, 2, 3. Better than yesterday in terms of fumbling around with the function set. So now it's a question of doing the back legs. I can imagine. So I'm going to grab the back legs here. And at the start, of course, we need to keyframe those locations. And again, I'm not too concerned about the shoulders breaking at the moment. We can worry about that later because we can just fix that with the rig. We'll worry about that with the rig later. Oh, thank you very much. He looks more scary when he has fur. Thank you. Yeah. But yeah, I really appreciate everyone's support, by the way. All right, cool. So with the legs, I'm not going to go like ultra close to the other lot. So what I'm going to do is just bring it in a little bit to at least line up the legs a little bit, but not as far as the front legs have gotten. It's all simulated, this one. So once I actually, the tail's also simulated, by the way. So like, that's why it's not dragging properly. So I need to turn on the tail and re-simulate that tail, and you'll see it. It'll come to life in a second. Obviously, dog tails, they're a lot more controlled than a cloth, but for the sake of this, it does make it easier. And I will probably tighten up that tail in terms of the stiffness of the motion. Kill the bot. I don't see the bot. Vor red. Is that what you're talking about? I'm not sure. Unless mine's already blocked it. I don't know. Anyway, so you can see here that we're already getting there. Yeah, it's really cool. That's the nice thing about doing it in the mornings, is that I actually see everyone, see lots of people from overseas, which is really cool. I wish I could do it. I wish I could animate this. I could do a live stream longer today, but I can't, unfortunately. So I'll be wrapping up in about half an hour. Anyway, we got the legs now, going from left to right. Now let's do the. I was wondering if I should do the feet further away. Now that I think about it, like this is going to be almost this way because it come first. Not sure. And of course, with the ground hitting, the legs hitting here first, this hips will have to drop quite a bit more, or at least animate the hips dropping more here. And I'll worry about that in a second. It's only complicated because I'm adding multiple instances of animation. So I'm just going to block it and see what happens. I think I know what the problem is though. The front legs are driving the animation here. So the pushing off of left to right. So I need to make sure that the back legs do not move first. Yeah, I'm happy to have a look. Even if you wanted to send me a link on it from your Google Drive or something. All right, so I'm going to move these keyframes and delay them a little bit. Actually, might even just keep it way less, at least in the case of this. 1, 2, 3. Let's just get rid of that for now. And just make a keyframe here. Yeah, no worries. It could just be editing that you need to do. Some editing. Me, on the other hand, I'm just trying to figure out exactly where to place my next keyframe for the back legs. Because it's launching up. I'm going to delete these and just see what happens again. I'll delete this one as well. Just for now. Now, why aren't you working? I've only got one keyframe on here. Okay, cool. 1, 2. This is the tricky part. Is because the feet are actually on the ground earlier than the front legs because of the way that the walk cycles work. I think, yeah, that will work good. Where the legs are there, I think that will work well. So now what I'm going to do is place the legs on contact there. Yeah, I think that will do. 1, 2. And then we can kind of have them follow through on the contact. So there we go. So 1. It's almost like a weird overlap. 1, 2, and then kind of almost have to contact it earlier. So there's the next contact here. Is almost bring it this way. Depends on where you want to use it. So if you're going to be using it through university, you may want to go with something safe like a Wacom. But if you're using it at home, I'll just go with XP Pen or a Huion. I do like the Deco series. And all I would say is just look at some reviews, and then you'll get a good idea of what works for you, what could work for you. Contact is there. 1. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out the footsteps here. 1. So these footsteps need to be on a hold for a little while. Boom. Trying to work it out. It's tricky, these damn steps. Yeah, that was the screen one, but not exactly. I wouldn't call it that entry level though. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out exactly how to do these legs. It's a bit weird, that one. We'll have to see how we go here. So well, thank you anyway. 1, 2, 3. The back legs are the weakest part of this animation anyway, because you barely saw it in the actual earlier shots. 1, 2. let's just get the legs in place where I need them to be. Let's just have a look at visually speaking where I want them to be versus where they need to be. Let's just get that going. We can worry about the hips later with this control here. Boom, boom. And here's the next shot here. So this is where the end result should be. Oh, it's really screwing up there, isn't it? Let's go and grab those. I'm sure you will. Yeah, the only thing is that when you're animating the legs with the momentum of side to side action, it's very difficult to line those up. So let's just have a look and see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Might get rid of this keyframe here and worry more about the rotation of the. Yep. So this is where those back legs come in hand, like are probably a bit more susceptible to the poles. It's a question of animating those poles. If I have to animate the hips going down, I can. We'll see how we go. Only sometimes, if I have to. I usually use grease pencil more for planning than I use it for notes. Okay. Whoops. Really screw that one up. Sorry, just trying to figure things out. This is where that, like, as an animator, it's kind of tricky to get this right without some sort of reference. But how am I going to get a dog dodging exactly the way I want as reference, right? So, let's see. Step. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is delete those keyframes and start over. So I think you're right. Because their legs are moving, and the problem is that the back legs should most likely be in response to the action first. So deleting those keyframes, starting again. Those legs need to be over here last. So where those contacts are, it's going to be tricky. It should be there. Until they contact. So the ground, they're going to contact the ground here. And stay put there. So that's the problem. They're sliding. Oh yeah, I know how to do a dog walk. It's just a question of where those feet stay put during this side-to-side action. Because it's tricky. Okay, that's the other reason why. Okay, cool. Do it that. One. Cool. I'm gonna put a keyframe there. And then push this that way. We'll worry about that rotation there in a second. There we go. What I'm trying to do, I'm not worrying about the leg movement at the moment. I'm more like worried about the leg location. There we go. Let's get that one over there. Boom. There we go. It feels a lot more natural. It's just a question of posing after that. 1, 2. Yeah, it looks much better. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, that looks much better. Keyframe there. No worries, man. Enjoy your meal. Cheers. I'll be dropping off in about 5-10 minutes anyway. So just working this out is arduous, as you can see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's move that into place like so. There we go. And I think that will be it. Yep, there we go. And then we can kind of bring that in a little bit further. And we got ourselves our walk cycle. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And you can see it's working in the widescreen as well. So if we were to turn that off, there we go. So yeah, we're getting there in the end. Just a question of understanding those mechanics and where the overlaps and where which leg's delaying, which one's the ones driving the animation, that sort of thing. Cool. So that's leg number 1. Leg number 2 is this one. No, this one. This one's actually not too bad because it's not traveling as much. So I'm going to keyframe there. Delete that. There's our contact. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll worry about the ankle in a second. Because what we can just do is rotate that a little bit. And then maybe push it out a little bit. Like so. Thank you for the subscription. So that way. Maybe push this out a little bit more. There we go. 1. Don't you love that pose? This is the tricky part, obviously. going to copy that one, bring it forward. Let's see what we can do there. And we're going to bring in that pose here. And we'll worry about, I'm going to worry about the eccentricities in a second. So what I might do is actually bring the leg in much closer, almost overlapping the other leg. This one. Yeah, very close. I'm looking forward to, I guess you can say, seeing that number. I was hoping to get it to 50 by the end of Jan, but a bit optimistic. But it's cool to see it actually jumped up quite a bit over Christmas. That was really cool. So I'm going to grab this leg here. Obviously bring it closer to this contact here. Like so. One. Might actually bring it much closer in timing. Yeah. Well, I'm hoping to get to 100,000 by the end of the year. That would be awesome. And then finally, I'm going to contact. Copy this pose here. And then this should be the end, at least of this particular blocking. I actually don't mind that wider leg there, to be honest. Cool. Boom, boom, boom. Now, kind of happy about that. Now it's just a question of getting that hip action in there properly, getting the legs looking correct in terms of their motion. I'm going to save that. Also doesn't help that the legs are really, the hips are really sticking up now. 1, 2, 3. So I might actually bring this down a little bit. Can I bring it down like that? Okay. That looks almost natural in a way. Yeah, well, I'm trying to get that exact feeling, actually, that same feeling of dodging bullets. Get that keyframe back up. What happened there? Let's see. I'm going to copy this pose. Almost looks like a lion there. Copy this one. I'm not too concerned about the like the accuracy in this case, because in this case you're not going to really see much of the back of the body. What matters is just just making sure that it looks natural, I guess you can say. So a little bit of stretch, for instance, in that leg ain't going to do too much harm. In which case I would actually rotate this a little bit. So almost a little bit of squash and stretch. Boom. It's actually too very delayed in the leg there. So just the question of how am I going to do this? I can do it this way, like so. In which case I'd have to actually rotate the hips a little bit. I could do that. Let's see what we can do. Let's just grab a keyframe on this. I'm not a fan of the dog's rig in Blender, in this Rigify, but it's still better than having nothing. And we can always, you can see here that the reason why it's also not looking great is because I need to actually rotate these hips a lot more. As the dog is tilting into that motion. Then as he leans this way, it'll be a different way, like that. Let's have a look at the graph editor here. I'm gonna have to wrap it up in a few minutes. Okay, looking okay, I think. Where's my extreme? My extreme is here. Let's delete those. What did I do? I think I fucked it. That's fine. And a little bit of overlap here. So opposite land. There we go. Ah, fuck. Boom, boom, boom. Now that's starting to look a lot better. One, two, three. I still got a lot of work to do on the legs, but even just getting that hip sway working. Now I'll do the same thing with the front of the legs, the front of the body as well. So I can actually do that in the front too. So where it's landing. I don't have a Discord yet. Not yet, at least. It's on the cards, but not yet. I don't have one. I keep saying that it's on the cards, but it is. Just a matter of fact. Yeah, I just don't have one yet. All right, cool. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so I need to actually rotate the body a little bit. I'm not sure if I should just use the neck for that one or the front. I think the front of the body would be a better choice. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you very much for the comments and the chats. It's been really fun. Thank you for the super chats again. That was awesome. So Thunderslap, thank you very much for the super chat. That was a real surprise, and I really appreciate it. Probably try and get on again on Thursday. We'll see what happens. But other than that, I will let you guys go. Enjoy your evening, and I will catch you guys later. Cheers.